It's been the most amazing year that you know. When that double top went in, I never thought that the next 12 months would be like it has. So yeah, I know what I'm missing maybe this year, but you know, I would recommend it to anybody. Definitely being a world champion is a good thing. Well, I'm from this little village. I'm quite a simple farmer's kid. You know, I felt that being in the final was enough. You know, I over-excelled myself. I was hoping to get to the semis. But when I got to the final, it was like, well, you know, we're here now, and, you know, runner-up wouldn't be bad. Yeah, that would be okay. But little did I know that probably the last 12 months would never have happened had I been runner-up. So it may have been a good thing going into the game, thinking that it really didn't matter whether I won it or lost it. The only way that I explain being a BDO world champion is that, you know, I'm holding that trophy for every pub, club, dart player throughout Europe, the world, wherever. You know, you're holding it for them. It's brought me some great things. The one that sort of brought home that I was a world champion, and it was probably only 2 or 3 weeks ago, was the sports personality to go to the BBC Sports Personality in Belfast. Was as a British world champion, that was amazing. Yeah, I mean, coming back as world champion, you've got to enjoy it. You know, you can't let it be a rope round your neck, because otherwise you'll be going home on the first weekend. So I'm trying to make it a more enjoyable experience, because how often are you going to come back as a world champion? So if you make that a horrible experience, that, you know, you'd be the bigger fool for it, really. So yeah, I'm trying to make sure it's not a noose around my neck, and more a sort of an extra Christmas present. The mental side of the game is, as most players will tell you, is one of the hardest things to get right. And I think probably stepping onto that stage, I will feel like I'm the world champion. But I think no matter what happens once you get up there, you've got to get your head into a position where you're just one of the other players that are making up this tournament, and try and get your head down and leave that little banner behind.
Well, I'll tell you what, Scott Mitchell's defending champion would have looked at the bottom quarter of the draw, and although he's too nice to set, he would have really fancied semi-finals at least. But this is the Lakeside, and along comes a guy who's never played here before, turns up yesterday in Craig Caldwell, and I thought he absolutely rocked the stage.
Well, yeah, his average was over 90, which is good average starters. He finished really good. He threw his darts with authority. He sort of like looked like he played up there before.
Yeah.
So Scotty's got to be very careful with this guy, because this guy can actually play darts, and he didn't seem to get nervous at all.
No.
And that's the main thing. Throw your darts and don't get nervous.
After that journey as well, yes, because he does have, you know, stats are stats. He's got the average north of 90 in his first ever appearance here. He had a 50% checkout percentage, but more importantly, he had bottle.
Well, he had the bottle, I say. He must have brought it with him.
It's interesting, because he's got, like, Craig got his big win yesterday, and he's got to play again as a qualifier in the first round now. And you know, he's had the big journey, and this is another step up, because he's not just playing another hopeful, he's playing the BDO world champion.
Sure, he's got a match on his hands, but he played yesterday, and that could help him really, because he's playing a game, so it's like being next day into the tournament. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's had 2 bites at the cherry, but this time he's got the world champion he's got to play. Scotty played the break last year, finished lovely, timing was right, everything. This year, not so good on the opens, but he's there or thereabouts. So I think he'll play well, but he can't give this boy a chance.
Yeah, he picked up a couple of titles since he's last here. A lot of quarterfinals, a lot of last 16, a few semi-finals. So by his high standards, probably needs to step up a gear.
Sure, because world champion, you don't spend time on the board. You go and meet people, shake hands, be a pop star. You know, that's a part of the World Championship. But you've got to have in your head, you've got to play darts to defend it. And that's what he's got to do today.
You've been doing that for decades, Bobby.
Oh, thank you very much.
Swanning around, shaking people's hands.
How do you want?
Right, let's rip it up. Let's get onto that stage. It's little Richard Ashdown, our Master of Ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the British Darts Organisation, welcome to the 2016 Lakeside World Championships. It's day 2 here at the home of World Darts, the Lakeside! We now introduce a winner of 13 world ranking titles. He's the reigning England Masters and Jersey Open champion. The reigning Lakeside World Champion, Scotty Dog, Scott Mitchell!
4, 3, 2, one. Who let the dogs out?
We now welcome back to the stage after his preliminary round win, our New Zealand regional qualifier. All the way from Wellington, it's CC Craig Caldwell.
The champion, the household name from just down the road, against the Lakeside newcomer from the other side of the planet. Nothing can go wrong, can it? Here's John Rawley and Vassos Alexander.
So, Craig Caldwell waited 42 years to make his World Championship debut. Now he walks onto this stage for the second time in 24 hours. The New Zealander saw off Scotland's Alan Suter in the preliminary round, and his reward is a first-round proper match against the defending champion, Scott Mitchell. Scott returns to the scene of his greatest triumph, having thoroughly enjoyed his 12 months as world champion. He seeded 6th this year, having had a mixed 12 months on the circuit. With all the added exhibition stuff, Mitchell sometimes found it hard to switch to match mode. Back to business today though, and standing between Mitchell and a place in round 2 is the New Zealand #1, who was mighty impressive on debut on Saturday afternoon. It's England against New Zealand for a place in round 2.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's the best of 5 sets. First set, first leg. It's Craig to throw first. Game on.
Well, Craig Caldwell, the 9-4 outsider in this match. And 12 months ago, Scott Mitchell had a real tussle in his first round encounter, went to sudden death against Tony O'Shea. Well, he's a warm favourite to win this one, Scott, but having watched Caldwell play as he did yesterday, and as Vassos alluded to, Scott maybe just a little bit short of match practice, Caldwell might give him problems. He looked, as he grew into the match yesterday, as though he was very much to the manner born, didn't he?
Really seemed to enjoy himself up there, and that's not something you say about every Lakeside debutant. Sometimes the occasion gets the better of you, and sometimes you rise to it, and Caldwell definitely one of those players who rose to it.
Scott was telling me that during the year he played something like between 60 and 70 exhibitions, many of them for charity, and he said one of the things he's really enjoyed about being the champion is that it's not only lining his own pockets, he's been able to put so much money towards so many worthwhile causes, which kind of says a lot about Scott as a guy.
Yeah, not least his dad's tractor. Fulfilled his promise. First thing he did when he got back to Dorset was buy his old man a tractor with £100,000 in prize money. He'll be hoping for a repeat check this time round.
with the darts, just about managing to maintain advantage with that good visit there. 108, a very makeable finish.
45.
That is loose.
Craig, you require 108.
Double 16 for the opening leg of the match.
Game shot and the first leg.
Well,
Craig
we did say
Caldwell. Second
he
leg
looked
is
very
Scott
good yesterday, and he's carried on where he left off. Scott is going to have to get on his game and get on it quickly.
44.
Scott Mitchell first came to Lakeside in 2010, lost in round 1, repeated the trick in 2011 and in 2012, finally got a victory in 2013, reached round 2, same again 2014, and then last year it was a completely different Scott Mitchell. Mentally, he was so much more prepared to show what he could do on that stage. He wasn't going to get overawed.
That's more like the Scott we know.
180.
Announces his presence very much in this match with that. Good final, wasn't it, against
45.
Wolfie, against Martin Adams, beaten 7-6, had a big checkout on the way as well, 158, and it was an outstanding game, maybe not quite to match the brilliance of that match between Adams and Glenn Durrant in the semi-final, which was a real Lakeside classic, but Scott produced his A game big time 12 months ago.
$68.
Craig Caldwell has the advantage of bringing the momentum of a very recent match on the Lakeside stage into this first round match. Scott hasn't played up there in the World Championship for 12 months.
100.
Changed his darts as well. Soon as he won the world title, the last time he threw those darts was the winning double last year. They're now in his safe at home.
I think he knew that he was going to have to sort
59.
of grow into
Scott,
this
you
tournament. I said, how are you
117.
throwing? And he said, well, actually, I'm not quite sure. I'm used to playing people like Martin Clues rather than coming in for matches like this. But this is handy. Double tops now for Mitchell. Oh, just the wrong side of the wire, but he'll get another chance. Caldwell back on 232.
He'll want to put some pressure.
57.
Interesting array of headgear and outfits here as ever, as Mitchell lines up for his first leg and does it quite nicely with a double tap.
Scott Mitchell. Third leg, it's Craig.
Provided gear, of course, in a shop here. Saw one last down below our commentary position who looked as though she'd come in her pyjamas.
I think she probably had.
43.
First to 3 sets, a reminder. First to 3 legs takes the set, except in what could be a decider, which has to go to a margin of 2 clear. If it goes to 5-all, it goes to sudden death. Long way to go before then, and Caldwell will be hoping that he can do it in quick time. That's his first maximum of the day, of the game.
Caldwell has the advantage of throwing first in this, the third leg.
45.
Darts players do like to hold their throw. A little bit like tennis, when you hold your serve.
60.
That 180 would have helped to that end, but either side of it, a 60 and a 43.
Great time of year for this sport, so much attention in the 2 championships being concentrated. Bobby George looking like I've never seen him quite before.
I don't know, I thought that was quite a good likeness.
King of bling.
44.
Oh, the lads have worked at that. Look, there's a whole team of Bobbies.
$60.
Caldwell closing in. Good first start. Now he might adjust here. Could be going for the 18s, possibly. Yeah, good dart.
134.
Lovely dart. Leaves him on double top for the leg. Wants to leave himself a finish. Wants to make sure that there is at least some pressure
86.
on the 40. And that's a good last dart.
It was a very good last dart. Puts Mitchell on 123, Caldwell on tops.
Game
look
shot
at
and the
that makes
third
it 2
leg.
out of
Craig
2.
Caldwell. Fourth leg, it's Scott to
Perfect
throw
finishing
first.
records.
Game on. $100.
So Scott must hold to extend the set. Steady start. Doesn't he look focused? Craig Caldwell, how about that?
180.
His second maximum. He's not made the 12,000+ mile journey for nothing. Giving a very good account of himself so far. That's a good response, though.
Back in the treble 20, Caldwell. And again, 5 out of 5. Make that 6 out of 6. Just a reminder, the perfect leg of darts is a 9-darter. It hasn't been seen at Lakeside since 1990.
Craig, you require
Treble 20,
141.
treble 19, double 12.
And there'll be the pantomime boos for that. He was on one yesterday and he missed with the 7th dart of that. There's not been a perfect checkout, a 9-darter in the BDO World Championship since 1990. If anybody does it here this time around, there is a £52,000 bonus.
Now what he'll want to do, Caldwell here, is make sure he wins the leg and the set.
82.
He's 82 points away. 17 for tops. He hasn't missed a double yet. This is for the set.
42.
Now Mitchell.
Scott, you require 118.
Needs this to hold on to his throw. 118. It's a big ask. Still do it. Can't now. He needed the treble for double 19, so all he can do now is just try and leave something to put pressure on Caldwell. But Caldwell will be fancying his chances of checking this out and making it 3-1. Double 10. Good dart again.
And the first set.
That's hurting Mitchell.
Craig Caldwell.
And Caldwell, the outsider, takes the opening set 3-1.
Second set, first leg. It's Scott to throw first. Game on.
So, Scott, what have you got?
$99.
Scott Mitchell credits his
140.
sports hypnotherapist with his remarkable turnaround in Lakeside form. Did used to freeze on the stage and said it was the best 150 quid he ever spent. Earned him 100 grand.
I wonder if that had helped my putting on the golf course.
Nothing helps that.
There's many would agree with that, including me. Caldwell's averaging over 94. It's good throwing.
$100.
He needed that treble with the last dart. Scott Mitchell under pressure on his own throw again at the start of the second set, having lost the first.
100.
Caldwell gets on to a finish, 161. Would be the biggest of the championship so far if he were able to take that out. Mitchell, meanwhile, comes down for the 25.
133.
13.
Craig, you require 161.
Good nevertheless, 48. 2-dart checkout.
$65. Scott, you require 48.
So 16 double 16 for Scott Mitchell. Oh, tops, he's gone, having hit big 8s. Double 10, this is for a 15 dart leg.
Game shot.
Needed that. That's a sigh of
Scott
relief.
Mitchell.
He was under pressure there with Caldwell on 96.
Second
And
leg,
he
it's
just
Craig to throw
creeps in
first.
with that
Game on.
crucial double 10.
Just for the moment, you get the feeling that the world champion is hanging on in this match.
Oh, that's a loose
81.
last one. He had an opportunity there. 140 would have put Caldwell under the cosh. Bit unlucky, that. Crowd here not quite at its full and raucous best. It'll be revved up a little as the afternoon progresses. Not a spare seat in the house here at Lakeside.
100.
Young Sam and Katie, Scott Mitchell's kids, watching Dad.
82.
Not on a finish, though. And if Scott can somehow nick this leg, the complexion of the match changes. He will move
78.
2-0 up in this second set. And look favourite to square the match at 1 set apiece. Remember, it's a first to 3 sets.
$99.
So Mitchell's on a
Scott,
finish,
you require
142.
142.
Caldwell nicely placed on 100. Can't do it now. Paying across for a
110.
treble 10. That's a great dart. And it's
Craig, you
left him on his
require
favourite double.
100.
All sorts of pressure on this 100 then for Caldwell to hold his throw. Oh dear.
28.
Well, that was
Scott, you
loose.
require 32.
Mitchell can go 2 up here and take 1 against the throw. Oh, good dart.
Game shot.
That's
for
the old
second
Scott
leg.
Mitchell
Scott
confidence.
Mitchell.
Straight in there, no messing. And now he has this second set maybe in his grasp. Looking to serve it out to
Third
square up
leg,
the
it's
match.
Scott to throw first. Game on.
Chatting to him backstage, Scott,
100.
a few minutes before his match. He had his headphones half in and half out, listening to music in one ear, and I did mean to ask him what the music was and forgot. But I know it does calm him
46.
down.
Music in one ear, you in the other. I think I'd go for the music as well. We had some members, well, they look like members of KISS in here yesterday. That's a great 180.
180.
Brilliant hit from Mitchell. His second maximum.
$100.
There's been some formidable beards around as well, sort of ZZ Top-esque.
ZZ Tops.
$140.
Oh, what a good leg of darts this is from Scott Mitchell. Ton, 180, 140, 81 away from the set now.
Potentially
60.
11 or 12 darter here
Scott,
for
you
Mitchell.
require 81.
Double 19's his dart. Treble 19 rather. Oh, he's
41.
got time. He'll come back with tops to make it 3-0. and 1 apiece. First to 3, remember, wins this first round match.
97. Scott, you require 14.
3 out of 5 so far. Make it 4
Game
out of 6.
shot. And the
3-0,
second set.
1-1.
Scott
Game
Mitchell.
on.
Third set, first leg. It's Craig to throw first. Game on.
2 sets with the darts so far. But is the momentum
60.
shifting towards the defending champion?
$100.
Plenty of refreshment around the auditorium. This might be too early for a few, but not here at Lakeside. Mind Sunday lunch, it's allowed, isn't it?
Always.
$24.
That's a let-off. Could just do with a nice easy leg to settle the nerves.
100.
Craig Caldwell. Recover his poise that he showed in the first set.
He was on the receiving end a bit in that second set, wasn't he? Scott Mitchell really up the ante, and look at this. More of the same.
Wow.
Fill it up, big man. That's his third maximum.
He doesn't let you off the leash for long, does he? Scott Mitchell. A 24, but then a 180.
100.
Well, 118's makeable, but if Mitchell got 100 plus here, it would be under pressure. Well, that's not bad.
100. Craig, you require 118.
Starting with a treble 20. So treble 20 for double 19 now. No. A couple of times he's strayed low and right, pulled it into the single one.
Scott,
Good
you
last
require
start,
97.
But Mitchell now 97 to take one against the throw. Treble 18 would leave double 12. Not
57.
To be. I feel maybe that's one
Craig,
that's got
you
away a
require
touch.
40.
This is where we find out how the New Zealand nerves are.
Game shot. And
well
the first
done.
leg. Craig Caldwell.
Both of them 4 out of
Second leg
6
is
on the
Scott
checkouts.
going first.
Impressive from both men.
$100.
There they are. Not scoring badly either. Mitchell slightly out-hitting Caldwell at the moment. He's averaging over 93. You see not a lot between them, though, in 180s and 140s. Mitchell just with the edge on the averages right now.
60. $59.
Come on, he sets himself up to the first 2, G's himself up, and in it goes for a treble.
$140.
Nice response.
4 ranking titles in 2015, Caldwell. Had a very good year down under.
$140.
First to a finish.
So 101 required.
Scott, you require 101.
To hold his throw. Caldwell is poised. Treble 19 he needs for double 12. No, can't be done now.
69.
Caldwell, big one for
Craig,
him.
you
This.
require 77.
Really big. So 18 leaves Bullseye. The treble would leave double 7. Bullseye to break the throw for Caldwell.
52. Scott, you require 32.
Slightly rueful shake of the head as Mitchell returns for his favourite double 16.
Game shot.
Doubles are
on the
going
second
well.
leg. Scott Mitchell.
It's what wins you matches.
Third leg. It's
5 out of 8 now for the big fella.
Game on.
Farmer Scott.
100.
Fourth maximum for Caldwell.
80.
Well, he does like starting legs with a maximum, doesn't he? Third time he's done it in a match and a half.
55.
When he did it earlier and yesterday, he followed it in with another maximum. Not this time.
Got a bit excited with that opening dart. 102 weren't too shabby.
140.
So he's not letting that missed bull affect him, Caldwell.
123.
Well, get a 9-darter, he could still get a tenner. This is great darts, Muscles. That's Scott's wife watching on.
Sharon.
$100. Craig, you require 41.
So 9, double 16, or 1 for tops. 2 16s for Caldwell, and an 11-dart
Game
leg.
shot on the third leg.
Very high
Craig
quality.
Caldwell. Fourth leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
He's a good darter, this fella.
And just when you thought the momentum was with Mitchell, having breezed through the second
100.
set, back comes Caldwell.
It's nip and tuck. You could see this going all the way.
Here it goes again.
140.
He's going through a purple patch. Following on from that 11 darter. Great first visit.
$140.
And a great response under pressure from Mitchell.
Heavyweight exchange, isn't it?
$100. $100.
G's himself up with a little talking to and puts himself on a finish. Scott Mitchell, the defending champion.
Needs a treble.
60.
Doesn't
Scott, you
find it,
require
so
161.
he has 6 darts, Scott, from 161. Will he go for the treble 17 bull? He will. He's a showman.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
For the
Scott
defending
Mitchell.
champion. How much did he love that?
I think he was rather pleased with that, and he gave it a little strut
Fifth leg
around the
is Craig
stage,
to throw
looked out
first.
at his supporters.
Hang on.
And Caldwell, the gentleman, shakes his hand. The highest checkout of the tournament, 161.
Oh, I tell you what, this match has suddenly caught fire. An 11-dart leg from Caldwell. A 12-darter from Mitchell, ending on a 161. Another maximum from Caldwell to start
60.
the deciding leg of the set.
Both of them averaging over 94 now. Good standard. That's 4 out of 4. That's 5. That's 6. Oh, 6 out of 6. He's done it before, but it's on.
It is on. Could it be? Could it be? This is his
81.
Look at Scott Mitchell
Craig
stifling a smile.
141.
He's had 2 attempts at this. Both have faltered on this dart and again. Good throwing, though.
65.
6 maximums to his name now, Caldwell.
100.
And they're all back to back.
requires 76.
So for another 11-dart leg, 888 to take the set.
60.
That's kind of a bit of a shame after the brilliance leading up to that. Mitchell's way back, 180 had just put a little bit of pressure on that 16. 140 would help.
81.
Not there though.
Craig, you require 16.
No check out for Mitchell.
2 fours for the set. Doesn't want to keep missing, but he will be back if he does.
No score.
Beads of perspiration on Caldwell's face. It's hot up there on the stage. Mitchell had put himself on a finish there. It was a bit of a boo-boo.
56.
Not lining it up as he would have wished.
Craig, you require 16.
So back to the 888, which he's missed 3 times already. Not 4.
Game short and the third set.
There is
Craig Caldwell.
the third set from Craig Caldwell.
Fourth set, first leg.
He's
It's
one
Scott to
away
throw first.
from knocking
Game on.
out the defending champion.
And he produced a really good set there. Mitchell had blasted him in set 2, and Caldwell dug in and started
40.
peppering that treble 20. Twice he had back-to-back 180s, and the 9-darter was on. Crowd really enjoying his contribution, and Scott Mitchell just shaking his head a bit after that poor first visit, and he throws under huge pressure now.
Already. This is a hole that he has to dig himself out of,
100.
or he's heading out of Lakeside.
Not encouraging everybody to go into the wagering game, but we did say before it started that Caldwell at 9-4 looked good odds.
121.
You're not getting 9-4 now, I tell you.
Be lucky to get 9-4 on.
$81.
Caldwell's taken the throw. He's taken away the advantage of Mitchell having the darts. Remember, Mitchell has
60.
got to win this. Sharon watching on, trying to encourage Scott.
Wants a 140 here minimum. Won't leave a finish.
60.
$140 for Caldwell would leave Mitchell in dire straits. Just needs to try and slide one over the top.
94.
He elected instead to switch to treble 18 and doing it well.
Clever last start, that.
$140.
The champion's response.
86.
But is it too little too late? This can be done in 2 darts. Now he needs treble 15 for tops, or treble 19 for double 14. Oh dear.
17.
He made a bit of a haul of
Scott, you
that, didn't
require 80.
he? Mitchell on 80. Double 10. Oh, well done.
Game short and the first leg.
He had
Scott
to dig
Mitchell.
deep there. That's a champion's response. Caldwell sees it as a chance which
Second
has
leg, Craig
slipped
to
away.
throw first. Game on.
Well, a 140. And then the perfect darts to take out the 80. But he won't go away, will he, Caldwell? Scott refused to watch Craig's match in the preliminary round, beating Alan Suter. Suits from Scotland,
140.
and looking impressive as he did it. In fact, he watched a Bond film, he told me, while that was going on.
Caldwell continues to thunder in the big numbers.
Tell you what, whoever wins this match really will have earned their place in the second round.
$60.
Mitchell, this was a chance here because Caldwell, no checkout. Averages reflecting that this is a good standard match. Probably the best that we've seen so far here at Lakeside
140
in this championship. Good checkout stats as well, particularly from Mitchell.
And a good leg this from Mitchell, 3 ton 40s.
So 81 then to strike against the throw. This would hurt Caldwell. 12 would leave Bull. Double 13 with that. Great dart!
shot to the second.
Brilliant checkout again from Mitchell. Caldwell blows out his cheeks and gives a little smile of recognition for some real quality throwing.
Third leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
This is to take us into a deciding set. Really good darts from Scott Mitchell, the defending champion, in that last leg.
Good match this, Vassos.
No question.
100.
Mitchell 8 doubles out of 11, 73% checkout rate. And they always say anything over 40% is pretty handy. Caldwell's 43.
82.
Mitchell, though, terrific finishing. And his best checkout of 161, the best of Lakeside 2016.
85.
There he goes again.
Number 7. Ryan, Scott's brother, watching on. Darts player himself, I'm told. That'd be a decent pair. Wouldn't want to draw them in the pub knockout, would you?
Oh, yes.
97.
Good last dart. Oh, what a good standard of darts this is.
170.
He was a little bit unlucky with that last dart. He wanted the 25.
142.
Brilliant, though.
Well, it's on. He went for treble 20, double 11. So now a treble 10, which he finds to pressure the 11. 3 double 4 for the set. Oh,
Game
wow,
shot
what
to the
finishing.
fourth set.
What astonishing finishing from Scott Mitchell. We are into a deciding set, and everybody at Lakeside is delighted by that.
First leg,
they want more of this.
All Caldwell could do was just raise his eyebrows. I don't think he's been hit by finishing like this too often. 9 out of 12, 75%. Scott Mitchell's checkout stats.
135.
It's indicative of how well Caldwell's throwing, that he's actually living with that, and that it's still all square in sets, 2 apiece. Caldwell's been hammering the big numbers, 7 180s already.
And the averages are creeping ever higher. This is like a running race where the pace just gets faster and faster and faster. Let's hope they end on a flat-out sprint, because the averages are going up, the doubles are being found, and they're trading mighty blows. A 161 checkout, an 11 dart leg. Great,
60.
Great stuff.
Best Scott's ever done in average terms. I know that stats don't really tell the full story, but in average terms he's had a 96 here at Lakeside, and he's not too far off that. Caldwell, newcomer to these championships. Well, he's a name to remember, isn't he?
Averaging 95 in this match.
And
Caldwell.
I'm so impressed with the fact that he's just not fazed by being up in front of this boisterous crowd, the heat of the lights, the television cameras. New experience, but he's really throwing very well.
And against a popular opponent.
60.
So he's got the majority of the crowd. Well, if not against him, then certainly with his opponent.
And he's on a finish, Caldwell, 148, although it's albeit a big one. Mitchell not really putting the pressure on it as he would have wished. 160. What can Caldwell do here? Came through against Alan Souter in the preliminary round to set up this match. Looked good there, and he's cranked his standard up a level higher. Let's see what Scott can do.
Well, he's taken out 161. He won't take out 160 at this stage. Just a reminder, in this set, if it reaches 2 legs all,
100.
then either player has to win by 2 clear legs
88.
until you get to 5 all, when it goes to sudden death.
Caldwell on 88. 18 would leave him the bullseye. That's double 7 with the treble.
81.
Brave dart. Brave dart.
60.
To break the throw. Tops for Mitchell. It's the only one he's missed.
20.
Well, his finishing has been quite brilliant. What a moment for it to let him down. Caldwell 7. Looking at the bottom of the board for 3. Now double 2. That's not lying too well.
5.
It was blocking the route in. What a good leg, and what an important leg.
And what a big moment this is.
Scott, you require 40.
Oh, yes!
From the first leg, Scott Mitchell.
When we come to the end of the match, that may well be a moment you look back at and say that was where Scott Mitchell showed a real champion's resolve.
Just paused, didn't he? Just collected himself. Just remembered what he did to win the title here a year ago, and just remembered what a good player he was, and then produced the dart to back that up.
43.
Well, he's not built on it, though. Now, Caldwell jumps all over this. He might make the immediate riposte.
$60.
But he hasn't. Let off for Mitchell. We've not seen 2 shabby visits in a row from him often in this match. And there you go.
140.
Good darts. Needs a treble.
100.
Just about hanging on in.
$100.
Edging towards a finish, Scott Mitchell. He could do with another one, Caldwell, another treble 20.
100.
It's a wild one.
Mitchell trying to tighten his grip on this decisive set. That's a good dart. That is a really big dart, and another one.
40.
Is he scenting victory?
$55. Scott, you require
So he
78.
has 6 darts from 78 to move to within a leg of the match. 20 for double 20.
38.
I know quite a lot of farmers, Vassos, and they're not given to hurrying. And there's a measured look about Scott Mitchell, isn't there? Doesn't exactly rush up to the ocking.
100.
Takes his time. It's all
Scott,
very
you require
measured.
40.
And now this double 20 would put him 2-0 up.
Game
Great dart.
for the second leg. Scott Mitchell.
Well played, Scott Mitchell.
Third leg, it's Craig to throw first.
His finishing has been the principal difference between him and Craig Caldwell.
Well, they both had 17 darts at a double.
45.
Scott's hit 11 of them. Craig just 6. So as you say, right there, that's the difference. A leg away
100.
from round 2. and he knows that he'll have been in a battle.
Caldwell's got other ideas.
140.
He'll not lie down.
$100.
What a time it would be for another 180.
Kind of needs it.
Kind of got it. Number 8.
60. Craig
136,
136.
Caldwell has left. No check out this time, but Mitchell's adrift.
100.
We'll have double 18 for the leg and to keep him alive when he returns.
$42.
Scott, you get the impression that he's just steeling himself for the next leg when he will have the
Game
dance.
shot and the third leg. Craig Caldwell.
Now, he'll steady himself, psych himself up, concentrate, take his time, and this is the moment where Mitchell can close out the match. Maybe. Could do with a treble.
60.
Not there. A glimmer of an opportunity for Caldwell.
Yeah, what's he got left? Has he got another magic leg left in him to take us to sudden death?
27.
That's not a good moment to do that. With tension maybe in both men. Bit unlucky that one, off the barrel.
41.
Well, well, well.
$42.
Nobody wants it. Or perhaps they just wanted that little bit too much and a little bit of tension coming into the dance. That's better. It's just lying a little bit low in the bed, that first treble 20.
140.
But he manages to squeeze another one in by the side and inches closer.
Here comes the response from Caldwell.
180.
Oh, the leg wasn't quiet for long.
Mitchell, 2 in. And a maximum for Mitchell. He only needs 80 now for the match. Touch of hands. It's been a high standard match, this one. Twists and turns all the way, and Scott Mitchell now is poised for victory.
80. Scott, you require 80.
Caldwell can't find a finish, so 20 and tops for Scott Mitchell, and a place in round 2.
40.
Not this time. He will be back, though.
Came close, didn't he? Caldwell 172. All he can do is try and leave himself on a decent finish and then hope that Mitchell somehow makes a mess of it. He's had 3 from 9 on tops.
Scott, you require
See what he can do now.
Takes aim at the top of the board. 2 10s for the match. Yes, there it is.
Shot.
There it is. And what a match. And what a
Scott
win
Mitchell.
for Scott Mitchell. My, he was tested. Well played, Craig Caldwell. Both very well played. Scott Mitchell through to round 2.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a brilliant match. Let's send the 2 players off the stage together. New Zealand's Craig Caldwell and the defending champion, still defending, Scotty Dog, Scott Mitchell.
of the cosh, but that's what champions do. He checked out more quickly than Usain Bolt in a celebrity edition of Supermarket Sweep. Scott Mitchell through. Craig Caldwell, though, on his debut. Please, please come back. Well, Bobby George, we knew it was going to be a little bit more complicated than champion against newcomer, and it proved to be that way. Really good game of darts.
Yeah, the boy, I mean, he played very, very well, Caldwell. His finishing was good at the start.
Yeah.
He slipped off a little bit, but his scoring power, loads of 180s, loads of 140s. But Scotty Dog, he did finish well. I mean, brilliant. That's what you got to do. When you're playing a guy against you who can actually outscore you, really, basically, and as soon as Scotty got onto a double, leg one.
Well, it was probably at its best in that third set, actually, if we have a little look at that, because Scott then put the highest checkout so far of a tournament that's only started, to be fair, but a 1-6-1. And again, this is him finding the form that he says he hasn't quite managed to get consistently since becoming world champion. But then Craig Caldwell, only ever the second time in that stage, is no shrinking violet. He comes right back in the next leg to decide this set. He goes 180, happy days, perfect start to the leg there. He walks back up, he goes bish, bosh and boogie, does exactly the same again. This is the second or third time he's done this.
I know, amazing. I think twice he's been on a 9-darter.
There you go. Forget the fact he's a newcomer, made of stone. I'll have that set. Here we go, 2-1 up he went. Fantastic nerve he had. We talked about his bottle before, and in defeat he can be very happy.
Yeah, he don't want to get upset because he played exceptionally well on his second round for him, basically, but first round, if you know what I mean. And he's going to come all that way, and he can go back home and say, well, I know it's not the same as winning, but he didn't really lose, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm getting at?
Absolutely.
He played absolutely brilliant, he did.
Finishing's everything, and whether it was the 1-6-1 or the 81 or just having that one dart for the double top, Scott the whole way through. I mean, 60% check out, and that was actually with a little bit of a wobble towards the end. He was sitting at about 70 the whole game, which is anybody who throws a dart anywhere from their living room to here knows that that is exceptional.
Yeah, 70%. Well, you have 70% all the time. Obviously, you've got to win, but that's great finishing, 70%. Against the guy that's with you, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Not when you're bullying someone, it's when the guy matched your throw, he's on the shot, then you've got to take it out. And that is, he played very well, Scotty Dog.
Well, listen, there's a gaggle of people just off camera taking pictures, and I know that's not for me, so it must be Scott Mitchell's arrived up in the balcony. Well, listen, Scott, congratulations. You said you had to find your touch, and you did up there, especially on the doubles.
Look, does he not know I'm the champion? He was supposed to go away, wasn't he? You know what I mean? When I started the 1-6-1, just pack your darts and go home. But he didn't, did he? I mean, what a great player he was, Bob. Right. You know, he came here with nothing to lose, and he just played like it, and fair play to him.
We said that after 1-6-1, he went 180 and took the leg. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it seemed to upset him a bit, didn't it? I won't do it again. It's all right.
How did that feel for you, though, in the first round? Because let's not talk about being champion. Let's talk about all the years before. You know, and how good was it for you as champion to get up there and win a big game like that, and in such style?
Well, to be fair, it is really difficult. I mean, you know, people watch you at home, and you can't ever practice this at home. You know, the guy's come all the way from New Zealand. He's not going to give up. And I'm just so pleased because before I folded. I folded on those big 180s. I folded on those sort of like shot outs where I've been 199 behind and think he's got me, and today I didn't. And I think that's kind of the honour of being the champion, and you try to come back and play as a champion the first game. Now I'm just in the last 16.
Just put into perspective how well Craig's done, because this is a guy coming from New Zealand. Most of the darts he watches is filmed 12,000 miles away. He's watching the superstars of the game. So he's playing in pubs, he's playing in low-ranking tournaments, and he's coming here, and in both games has averaged just north of 92.
It's been amazing. To be fair, you know, with the distance that he's travelled, it is amazing. I've got to be honest, I knew that he could do that. I got hold of my good mate Mike Day. He's been here for a couple of years, and Mike and Wendy Day, we stay in contact with him, and he said, watch this fella, he's been winning everything over here. He's going to come over here with so much confidence. He said, I think he's going to get to you, and when he gets to you, he'll be under no pressure, and he'll play as well as he's been playing all year, and he was exactly right. Yeah. What Mike told me was exactly right.
Well, there you go. Mike was the mole in the camp. I wonder what Craig thinks about that. He's talking about Rob Walker.
How good did this guy play in that first round match? Absolutely amazing. Craig, apparently your good mate Mike Day was giving Scott Mitchell a few tips. He said to him, listen, watch this fella because he can play, and my goodness, you proved that today.
Yeah, no, I'm wrapped how I played, but, you know, and Scott showed his class and showed why he is world champion, I guess. But I gave him everything I could, but, yeah, just fell off a little bit in that last set, but hey, he played brilliant and, as I say, showed why he's a world champion.
Listen, you can't be too disheartened after that. It was a brilliant effort. You've equalled the most number of 180s in the first round at Lakeside. 9 180s in the first round. That's amazing. And it tells you how good you were when the reigning world champion holds your hand up to the crowd and says to 1,000 or 1,200 people, how good is this guy?
Oh, that's awesome, yeah. No, I didn't realise how high I was, but I knew I was playing well, but, yeah, I'm glad I gave him a good run and I'm pretty wrapped how I played. But, yeah, what can you do?
Is that the best you've ever played in any context?
Probably on the stage, yes. I've done that sort of thing at home in practice, but it's great to bring it to the stage, and I hope I can come back next year.
Well, listen, we'd love to have you back. You've won yourself an army of supporters and a huge amount of respect. He got a standing ovation, Colin, when he came back into this room. We want this big fella back next year, but I'm not sure Scott Mitchell does.
Well, the other side of that, I suppose, a guy goes out and hits a record first round amount of 180s, he hit 9, and you beat him. So from that point of view, in a strange way, I feel it's like whatever doesn't kill me makes me stronger in this tournament.
To be honest, I wasn't counting. I was just thinking, you rascal, you.
I lost count about 6. That's just my academic upbringing. Nothing to do about that. You don't know who you're going to play next. You're going to have to wait for the next qualifier. Then the winner of that playing somebody else is going to be a while to get there. So how can you prepare when you don't know who you're going to be playing next?
Well, I had the same situation yesterday. I'm sort of walking around the hotel and not really knowing who I'm playing. So I didn't watch that game yesterday. I purposely stayed away from it. I actually watched James Wan from Russia With Love. It didn't help Anastasia, unfortunately. But, you know, I watched that and then somebody texted me and said, you know, you've got Craig. So, to be fair, I'd probably go the same again, to be honest.
I think, Bob, you were saying, Bob was saying, what Bob likes to, you know, tell it like it is. You were saying, you know, being a world champion, he would have played more exhibition, shook a lot more hands in the last 12 months. And you said, you know, he needs to find his form, he needs to grow into this. You know, he can get beaten up there. From what you've just seen there, you're a little bit more confident that he can defend his title.
Well, he done what he's good at. He played darts properly.
Yeah.
He's not bad at shaking hands and smiling either.
I've got to say, he did tell me last year, he said, when I won it, he said, no, don't go off now 12 months as a pop star because you come back and fall on your backside. And you were spot on. You were absolutely spot on. So I've tried not to be that for the last 2 weeks.
Brilliant stuff. Well, listen, the picture's going to come a little bit more clear for you now, what we're going to see up on that stage, because, of course, the qualifier that will get someone into the first round for a chance to play you in the second round gets a little bit complicated. His young, Peter Saivani is going to be playing. He's the sprightly Scandinavian who last year knocked out the Jammy Dodger, James Wilson, in the first round. And he's taken on Sam Houston. Now, Sam Houston only got in at the last second to play this year. He made his debut last year. He has an entourage with him, Sam Houston, that would make Snoop Dogg blush. So before we get to the noise, here's a quiet moment. Rob Walker with Sam.